Hello and welcome back to another video. If you have been enjoying my videos, please consider subscribing and liking for more. In today's video, we will be going over the Grade 8 November 2023 Mathematics Paper 2, set by the Department of Education in the Eastern Cape. Again, question 1, starting off with multiple choice. 1.1 says the sum of angles of a triangle is equal to, you should know this one, 180 degrees, that is C. All angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Why are A and B equal in the diagram below? If we look at the shape that those two angles make, when you follow the lines to make those angles, we can see that it makes the letter Z. The letter Z is alternating angles. 1.3. None of the three angles in this type of triangle are the same, so there are no equal angles. That is referring to a scalene triangle. So 1.3 is C scalene triangle. 1.4. All interior angles of a what are each equal to 90. And you should know this one. This is the most basic one, and your most common shape is your square. So all interior angles of a square are each equal to 90 degrees. So 1.4 is A. 1.5. Determine the length of EF in the rectangle below if DG equals 6 mm and DE equals 14 mm. We're trying to find EF. If that is a rectangle, which it is being given to us, opposite sides of a rectangle are equal. So we're looking for EF. Which side is opposite EF? That side is DG. So those two sides are equal, and DG is 6 mm. Therefore, EF is also 6 mm, and 1.5 is B. 1.6, I have to illustrate to you. Given triangle XYZ, okay, XYZ, you can draw the triangle however you want. I'm going to draw my triangle XYZ like this. It's saying that XY is 5 centimeter. Okay, it's not drawn to scale. And it's saying that XZ is 3 centimeter. So I'm going to draw that about there. That's 3 centimeter for XZ. And YZ is also 3 centimeter. So you are drawing an isosceles triangle. Okay, and when you look at this triangle, you can clearly see that this angle Z has the biggest angle. Okay, a key cheat code would be the line that's longest, opposite that line that is longest or biggest, will be the bigger angle. So this big line opposite that big line will be the big angle. So 1.6 would be C. Let's have a look at 1.7. These lines intersect each other at right angles. Lines that intersect each other at right angles are perpendicular lines. So for 1.7, the answer is B, perpendicular. 1.8. Which triangle is congruent to the given triangle? You are given three triangles, and you need to understand, or you need to know what the word congruent means. And congruent simply means an equal triangle, exactly the same. If you look at A, look at B, and look at C, it is quite obvious that C is the correct answer. Even though it is not facing the same direction, it is congruent because we have two sides that are equal and an angle between those two equal sides. 1.9. which of the following is a property of a kite? And the clear answer for 1.9 is A. Two pairs of adjacent sides are equal. For 1.10, we have a straight line and it says calculate x in the given diagram. We have a straight line that is divided into three different angles, and we're going to use our straight line theory or our straight line law, which says that when you add all these angles, x plus 60 plus 90, they are equal to 180 degrees. Because this is multiple choice, I'm not going to write my reason there. And to solve this, I'm going to do the inverse of 60 and the inverse of 90 on there. Okay, and when I do this in my calculator, I should get x is equal to 30 degrees. So when you look at 1.10, the answer is B. Question 2. Choose the correct term. Again, this is theory, so I'm going to go a bit fast over this. A. What is any straight line that intersects a pair of straight lines? A transversal is any straight line that intersects a pair of straight lines. 2.2. When two angles add up to 180 degrees, they are called supplementary angles. Complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. So the answer for 2.2 is supplementary because those angles add up to 180 degrees. 2.3. A what triangle has no equal sides? This was asked in a multiple choice as well. You know, a scalene triangle has no equal sides. So 2.3, the answer is scalene. 2.4. The point at which two straight lines meet to form an angle is called A. The point at which two straight lines meet. This vertex and this triangle. Immediately you know that the answer cannot be triangle because a triangle requires three lines to form a triangle. So by process of elimination, the answer is vertex. But you should know this as well. Two lines meeting to form an angle is called a vertex. A what has four equal sides and only opposite angles are equal. In a square, we have all the angles equal. But this one is saying only opposite angles are equal. By elimination, you know it is not a square. It is a rhombus. And you know the properties of a rhombus is that the opposite angles are equal. Question 3. Geometry of straight lines. 3.1. Identify angles A and angle B. Angle A, again this is theory, you should know that is an obtuse angle, and angle B is a reflex angle. 3.2. Consider the diagram below and complete the table. The pairs of angles, you're given a pair of angles and you need to give a reason, or you're given a reason and you can choose a pair of angles. Angle 3 and angle 6. Let's have a look where angle 3 is and let's have a look where angle 6 is. Those angles are vertically opposite. You can see that they are forming an X, so they are vertically opposite angles. 3.2.2. Corresponding angles. Which two angles are corresponding angles? Over here there's quite a few, and you know the corresponding angles refers to the letter F. Firstly, you have 5 and 7. That's a normal F that you can see over there. So for 3.2.2, you only need to give one of those pairs of angles. Now, angle 2 and angle 5. What type of angles are those? And if I go along the lines and I form those angles, I can see that I'm getting the letter Z. And angle 2 and angle 5 forming the letter Z, you know that that is alternating angles. Right, let's have a look at question 3.3. It says find the value of x and give reasons for your answers. Okay, as you can see there, you can quite see which letter that is forming those angles, and you can see it's the letter x, and those angles are vertically opposite. So you can start off with 3x is equal to 33. Vertically opposite angles are simply equal. Okay, so that angle is equal to that angle, and you need to write your reason. Your reason is vertically opposite. Then you're not done, because you need to find x. This is 3x. You know what to do. We're going to divide by 3 on both sides, and x is equal to 11 degrees. 3.3.2. We need to find x, and we need to give reasons for this. Again, that's a straight line, and a straight line is divided into 3 different angles. Okay, so we know that this sign means 90 degrees. Okay, and you know that all the angles of a straight line, when you add them all together, they give you 180. So we're going to do that. So it's 90 plus 2x plus 3x plus 1. Those are all the angles in there. That's not done. It is equal to 180 degrees, and your reason, okay, is angles on a straight line. You can use abbreviation in your reasoning there. Okay, then we're going to keep our x's or like terms to one side. So this is 2x plus 3x, and we're going to take our numbers over. So it's 180, and it's the inverses, minus 90 minus 1. This gives me 5x. This gives me 89. Okay, and then to find x, I'm going to divide by 5, and x is equal to 17,8 degrees. In question 4, we are covering the topic triangles, and in 4.1 it says study the diagram below and answer the questions that follow. 4.1.1, determine the value of a and give a reason for your answer. Again, we're looking for an angle that we do not know. That's that angle A over there, and there's an angle that we know. The angle we know is 72 degrees. And if you look at the angles across those lines, and if you look at the lines that make up those angles connecting each other, they create the letter Z, and Z is alternating angles. So therefore A would equal to 72 degrees. It's that simple, and you need a reason. It is alternating angles. That's the reason over there. Then in 4.1.2, hence determine the value of B. We do now know that A is 72 degrees, right? And we can also see that B is within a triangle. Now B is in a triangle, and we do know all the angles inside this triangle except B. So what are we going to do? We're going to add them. So it's B plus 72 plus 90. Okay, and what do we know about angles of a triangle? They add up to give 180. You're going to say angles of triangle. You need to always have a reason every single time. Then we take everything over to the other side. So B is equal to 180 minus 72 minus 90 degrees. Okay, and B is simply equal to 18 degrees. Okay, there's a few ways you actually could have done this. Is that this is co-interior as well, So if this is 90, this 72 plus b would also equal to 90 degrees. Okay, and then b would still be 18 because 18 plus 72 is 90 degrees. There's always one or two more ways that you can solve these geometric problems. Study the diagram below and find the values of x. Give reasons for your answers. When you're looking at this diagram, you might ask yourself, well, how do I find x? I don't know how to find x. There's no possible way for me to find x if I look at it like that. When you are doing geometry, the tip is that you need to find all the angles that you can find regardless of the question, okay, from the information given, and then the answer will present itself. So if you look at this triangle, you are given information that this is an isosceles triangle and that this angle, that this side and this side are equal. That would then tell you that the angles opposite those sides are also equal. So if that angle is 63 opposite this side, the angle would also be 63. Okay, so then you would write it down as AC B is equal to 63 degrees, and your reason there is isosceles. Whenever you do find information, you need to write it down on your answer sheet with your reasoning. Okay, and you need to also know how to refer to this type of notation for your angles. Okay, then now when you look at how to find x, you can see that it is on a straight line with 63 and x. Okay, so we know that all the angles on a straight line, if you add them, x plus 63, they would equal to 180 degrees. And you know, you also have to write your reason is that the sum of angles on a straight line equal 180 degrees. It's abbreviation for angle. That is abbreviation for straight line. Okay, this is quite a simple equation. We're going to take 63 over, or do the inverse of 63. That is minus 63, and then x is equal to 117 degrees. 4.3.1. Define the term congruency and give one condition of congruency. Well, congruency simply means to be the exact same in every way, shape, and size. Okay, so the shape and the size are exactly the same. So congruency just means that it is equal. One of the conditions for congruency is that all the sides are equal. And if all the sides are equal, you know that the two triangles are congruent. If the two triangles have a side that's equal, an angle that's equal, and a side that makes up the middle angle, then you know that that's also a condition for congruency. And then angle, and a side. If an angle, and a side are equal for two triangles, then you know that those two triangles are congruent. In question 4.3.2, it is saying triangle ABC and triangle XYZ are congruent. Show us reasons why the statement is correct. If you look at those two triangles, okay, we can see that there's one side that's equal. AB is equal to XY. So we have a side that's equal. Then we also have another side that's equal. AC and YZ is also equal. So we have two sides that's equal. And if you look there, there's an angle in between the two sides that is equal for both triangles. That is telling us, or that condition is side, angle, side. Therefore, because of that one condition, that a side, an angle in between the two equal sides, then those two triangles are exactly the same, or we say that they are congruent. In question 4.3.3, ABCD is a parallelogram. Prove that triangle ABD and triangle BCD are congruent. So in other words, as you can see, there are two triangles, one facing that way, one facing down. And we need to prove that this triangle is congruent to this triangle. And remember, there are conditions for congruency. If it is met, we know that it is two congruent triangles. Firstly, like I said, if you don't know where to start, you look at diagram and you simply find what is equal. If I look at this diagram over here, I can see a Z staring me in the face. So this angle would equal to this angle. So the one angle in another triangle is equal to another angle in this triangle. So we have our first condition for congruency is that A, B, D is equal to B, D, B, D, C. Okay, that our reason is alternating angles, right? Then again, you can see another Z facing upwards. Okay, so you can see that this angle is equal to that angle, right? So that angle is equal to that angle because of alternating angles, right? So A D B is equal to D, D B C, and again your reason is alternating angles right there. Then what else is equal? It takes a little bit of a trained eye, but not really. These two triangles are sharing the same base, or they're sharing the same flow, I would say. This line BD is shared amongst both triangles. So that line BD, we say that it is common. Okay? We have three conditions. We have an angle, we have an angle, and we have a side that is equal for both triangles. So then you can say that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle BDC. Your reason would simply be angle, angle, and the side are equal for both triangles. Therefore, this is congruent. In question 5, deals with the theorem of Pythagoras. Okay, and it says complete the theorem. The theorem of Pythagoras only works in a right-angled triangle. So if you look at the question, it says complete the theorem in a what angled triangle? The answer there is in a right-angled triangle. The square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares on the other two sides. 5.2, find x and y, show all calculations. Okay, so let's have a look at our two triangles over here, and we know these two triangles, for us to use the theorem of Pythagoras, they must be right angled. Okay, then when we look at how to find x, okay, we know that the sum of the two sides, okay, if this is 90, we know that that's 90 as well, so we can use the theorem of Pythagoras. But To find x is on the hypotenuse. So to find x, we need to take the side squared plus the other side squared. So it's 12 squared, which is the side, plus that side squared is equal to x squared, which is the hypotenuse. Then we have 12 squared is 144 plus 256 equals to x squared. This is 400 is equal to x squared. And for us to find x, this is x squared. We apply the inverse, square root of 400. Therefore, x would equal to 20. Okay, then for us to find y, in this case, it's going to work slightly different because we have the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is the slanting line and it's always opposite 90 degrees. We have the side and the side, okay, and the hypotenuse. So we're going to say the one side squared, which is y, plus the other side squared, which is 12, and it's going to equal to 15 squared. Okay, and for us to solve y, I'm going to take the 12 squared on the other side. So I have y squared equals to 2 to 5, which is 15 squared, minus 144, which is 12 squared. And then we have y squared is equal to 81. And for us to find y, we're going to do the square root on both sides, and y is equal to 9. The theorem of Pythagoras really requires a lot of practice, and you need to continuously be doing examples of this until you fully understand how to calculate both the hypotenuse and the sides. I recommend switching to a separate video to do solely this topic alone. For question 6, we are working with quadrilaterals, and it is telling us that PQRS is a kite. Find the sides A and B. Again, the rule of kites, or the information on kites that we do know, is that the adjacent sides of a kite are equal. So if you look at adjacent, it simply means next to. Okay, so the two sides on the top are equal and the two sides at the bottom are equal. So in other words, we can say that A is equal to 4 centimeter, and you need to have a reason. Okay, is that the adjacent sides of a kite are equal. In fact, you don't need to have a reason. And B would equal to 9 centimeter. Again, the adjacent sides of a kite are equal. Then let's have a look at 6.2. Again, we have a quadrilateral in 6.2, and we need to find x. Quadrilateral is a lines. A quadrilateral are 4 lines that make up a shape, that closes the shape, importantly. Okay, and all the angles in a quadrilateral, when you add them, they equal to 360 degrees. So we have the following. We have 50 degrees plus 80 degrees plus 70 degrees plus x. Those are all the angles. They're equal to 360 degrees. For us to find x, before we do that, we need to have a reason. And our reason is angles in quad. Always have your reasons there. Then we're going to take the inverses. We're going to have 360 minus 50 minus 80 minus 70. We took all of that over. And x is equal to 160 degrees. If you liked this video, please click a like. If you watched it all the way to the end, okay, that took really good determination and dedication. But all the best for your exams this term.